Hey, welcome back to our Catechism series. We are now on the seventh commandment. You shall not steal. What does this mean? We should fear and love God that we do not take our neighbor's money or property or get it by dishonest dealing, but help him to improve and protect his property and means of income. We're talking about our stuff here. And the first thing we have to remember with all of our stuff, it isn't really our stuff. The earth is the Lord's and everything in it, the world and all who live in it. All this belongs to God. So from the whole cosmos to the world to the continents, right down to your pair of sneakers, everything really is God's because He put everything here. He is the creator of all things. So anything I have, really, it's a gift. I may have worked for it, but God gave me the ability to work for it, earn the money, and then buy the thing that I wanted. Everything is a gift from God. We are simply caretakers, stewards of the possessions given to us. So husbands and wives are caretakers of the children that God has blessed them with. You are a caretaker of the clothes you have, the pet you own, the bike you have. We are supposed to respect and care for all of the stuff that is ours and leave what is someone else's alone. Um, and in fact, more than that, we could even help them take care of their stuff. That's what the seventh commandment is dealing with. Now, there is that prohibition, that negative side of it, not just cherish the stuff you have, but don't take the stuff that isn't yours. So from Leviticus 19, do not steal. Do not lie and do not deceive one another. And I think it's interesting that do not lie and do not deceive another, it comes right after saying do not steal. Some people lie and say something is theirs when it actually isn't. I think of little kids who just stole a toy. Hey, is that really your Transformer? Oh yeah, this is mine. I bought this one. No, it did. And they start fighting. And don't lie about whether something is actually yours. And do not deceive one another. People can be tricky. About getting something from someone else. Again, going to use the example of little kids. Kid A really wants Kid B's toy, but Kid A is like, well, it looks like your toy might be a bit broken, and it's not nearly as good as my toy over here. This is the best toy ever. And hey, do you want to trade? We could borrow them for a while in the hopes that the kid will forget about the trade and he'll just get to keep the better toy. That's being deceitful. And this happens in businesses too, where a person, for example, a car salesman may jack up the price on a fixed car, a used car, because he's done some external work on it, so it looks nicer than it actually is, but the insides aren't so great. And unless you haggle with him and talk to him, he's deceiving you in order to steal some of your money. The car is really only worth $1,000, but he says the price is $1,500. And if he can talk you down to 200, you might feel like, hey, I got a pretty good deal, when really he's up $200 on you. He's stolen money from you. You might say, but Pastor Hosh, that's just how the economy works some days. It's still deceitful. Jeremiah 22, woe to him who builds his palace by unrighteousness, his upper rooms by injustice, making his countrymen work for nothing, not paying them their labor. So if you're on the other side of things, if you're the person in charge, you have an obligation to be fair with your wages, to pay someone the right amount. A timely topic is people who are working for less than minimum wage. Corporations, companies that hire people on are really cheating them out of their livelihood because they are willing to work for that amount because they need to work for that amount. And then the people who hire them are thinking, hey, we could hire someone to work, this job and we have to pay them $20, or we could have this other person who's willing to get paid only $5. So now we are up $15 for every hour that this person works. That's injustice. That's unrighteousness. That's stealing. 2 Thessalonians chapter 3, for even when we were with you, we gave you this rule: if a man will not work, he shall not eat. And that will there is your will, your desire. If a man does not want to work, I'm going to be lazy and maybe I can mooch off of the church. If you physically can do work and be a productive citizen, you should be a productive citizen. Go get a job, man. Work. Give back to your community, to society. Earn your living. Now, some people, because of physical disabilities, legitimately can't do that, but that's different. If a person's just a lazy bum, that also counts as stealing. One more example with this. If you are going to be paid at a job $8 an hour, the expectation is that for an hour you are working and we're paying you $8 for the work you're doing in that hour. But let's say for an hour at your job, you are on your phone, or even for a half hour, you're sitting. Well, if it's just a half hour, maybe you should only get paid $4 for that half hour of work you actually did, because the other half hour you didn't actually do any work for that business. Um, or not get paid at all, take it out of your check because you're not actually working and you are in fact stealing or robbing for your employer, who says, hey, while you're here, we'll pay you this X amount of money for this hour of work, and you're not. You're getting paid that amount, but you're not doing the work, and that's no good. Um, with these gifts of possessions, really there are only three ways to receive something that's not stealing. One is to receive it as a gift. Happy birthday, you got something, you didn't have to pay for it, you didn't rob it from someone else, but it was given to you as a gift. To find it, maybe you're walking along the way and you find a quarter on the ground, and I mean, there's no way of knowing where this came from. You didn't see a person in front of you who dropped their wallet and you picked it up and gave it back to them. It's just kind of there. Well, all right, congratulations, you found a quarter on the ground, and you get to keep it. You found it. This is not the same as finders keepers, losers weepers. Don't do that. And finally, the most common ways to work for it, to earn your living. And then the reminder, we are stewards of the gifts that God has given to us. He who has been stealing must steal no longer, but must work, doing something useful with his own hands, that he may have something to share with those in need. So one of the other purposes of working, of not stealing, is not only to take care of ourselves, but so that I can also then take care of others. And that's to improve the property and means of income of my neighbor as well. And that's the seventh commandment. Not a whole lot in there. It's pretty short. In fact, it only has taken us 7 minutes to get through it. I'd like to say that was planned, but it wasn't. So there you go. Please, for next time, know the seventh commandment, and what counts as stealing. Not just physically taking an object, but being a lazy person at work, being deceitful about how much something costs. That all falls under the seventh commandment. All right, until next time, I wish you all of God's best blessings. Take care.